A special 4th of July Jive Talkin'. On there. That's pretty interesting that that was on there. I did not know that we had an official military tune on there. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. All my heavens to Betsy, episode 1984, 84 of the Jive Talkin' with Shane Diablo. I got your comments here. It says that there's 11 there. There's only 4 there. I went into the folder of Doom. I don't see anything for Jive Talkin'. I don't know where they went. Maybe people put them down there. They said some rude things to me or something. They said, "You're a big, fat, ugly piece of garbage." And then they went, "I better delete that because you know what? I do have a soul." I don't know. Maybe it was something like, "Shane, I want to marry you. Here's my phone number. I better delete that off there." I don't know, but they're gone, okay? We have some stories for you. What we do every single week. Heavy metal news stories that happened this week. And I know that you're distracted by these nipples here, but this is the man, David Draiman. He sings that song where he's saying, "Oh, what are you doing, mommy? Why do you hurt me so much? Leave me alone, mommy." But he's lost 34 pounds, and if that isn't a top story, I don't know what is. Let's get into the Jive Talkin' and welcome. Down with the fitness? ? He's down with the fitness. That's what happens when divorces come. You say, wait, I can't be all out of shape and disgusting. I've got to get back to the gym and do sit-ups and stuff so people find me attractive again. Disturbed's David Draiman has lost 34 pounds in the last 6 months. That's pretty good. Disturbed frontman David Draiman says that he has lost more than 30 pounds in the last 6 months. The 50-year-old singer who moved to Miami, Florida. You better have your nipples nice and waxed out there, pal. You don't live in Miami and look like a big flub. You don't look like a big tub of goo, right? You make sure your nipples are waxed. Early 2002, residing in Honolulu, Hawaii. I mean, you should be in shape there too. For a few years, took to his social medias earlier today, Tuesday, July 4th, to share a shirtless bathroom selfie, and he included the following message: 180 pounds, down 34 pounds, down with the sickness and 34 pounds since I started this whole thing in January. Haven't been this weight since the mid-2000s. In shape to kick everyone's asses this summer. At Disturbed, hashtag Take Back Your Life Tour, hashtag Can't Stop, hashtag Won't Stop, hashtag Down with the Fitness. So he's fun and he's having some giggles and gaggles on his tunes there, but he didn't seem to care about it the last 10 years, right? He's going, "I'm ready to kick some ass on this new upcoming tour." Well, you were lumpy in the other tours. But I'm glad you're getting better on your health and your weight and stuff. As previously reported, Disturbed was forced to cancel 2 shows on its just completed European tour due to Draiman's vocal issues. In May, David underwent an operation to have a benign tumor removed from his radius in the right arm. A month earlier, every time I hear about lumps and bumps and this, that, and the other thing, I got to get over to WebMD to see what's going on with me. You know, it's just anytime I hear something, "Oh, my friend," this guy at work says, "Oh, my friend had these freckles." And I'm like, "Oh, Christ, don't tell me about the freckles. What's wrong with the freckles? What's wrong with his freckles?" "Oh, yeah, they were," it's like, come on now. A month earlier, Draiman confirmed that he recently finalized his divorce with his wife of 11 years, Lena Draiman. Disturbed's latest album, Divisive. Is that how Lena Draiman described the divorce? It's very divisive. Came out last November. The LP was recorded earlier last year with producer Drew Folk, who's done Motionless in White, Little Peep, Little Pump, Little Peep. Is he the one that died? They drink that. They drink like Sprite and Robitussin or something like that, and they call it Kaboom juice or something. And one of them, it was either Little Pump or Little Peep. Well, it couldn't have been Little Peep, right? They played gigs with him. Let's go with Little Pump. This guy's worked with Motionless in White, Little Peep, and Highly Suspect in Nashville, Tennessee, where all the magic happens. According to Billboard, Divisive sold 26,000 equivalent album units in its first week of release, with 22,000 units via album sales. So, yeah, remember the good old days where they'd say, by God, the first week Metallica's album sold 250,000 copies. It's because it's streaming. But they all get, here, okay, I'm going to make a quick argument to you, and you tell me if you think this is proper or not. Now, and I might have made this argument before, but I understand that the bands are highly underpaid on the streaming. You only get like a 1/16 of a penny per play or whatever. But my argument would be that when you buy a CD, you buy Metallica's Black Album, you listen to it every damn day, all day long, every day until the CD finally goes, fuck, I'm done. You've only paid the $20 for it. But it's in perpetuity. So every time the song is streamed, they're still getting a piece of money for that stream that will go forever and ever and ever. Long after they're dead, old Carter Bajenkins, or whatever his name is, the son, Lars Ulrich Jr. and all of them, they're going to keep collecting all that money. That money's just going to keep going. But if it was just vinyl and CDs, you get the money, it's done. It's over with. You get down there and berate me and tell me that I'm wrong about everything. On the all-format Billboard 200 chart, Divisive debuted at number 13. Disturbed has 5 number ones on the all-genre chart, beginning with Believe in 2002. And there he is. Well, I would wax this too. If you're feeling really good about yourself, you go for the head, you wax the head, clearly. He's never scraped a razor across his chest and went, I wonder. Because I every single day I have to go and wax and shave the head. I wonder if I shaved my chest, what that would be like. But there you go. Congratulations to David Draiman. He really is down with the fitness and the sickness and all the things fun that's Disturbed. Mick Mars coming in here says he doesn't want to talk to his Motley Crue bandmates ever again. I think all of us would be okay with that. And I think that's perfectly good if you guys have spent 40 years on and off together. You don't really need to talk to each other ever again. Even if you were ending it on good terms, you would just go away, right? Or do you call him up next Tuesday? You call Vince up next Tuesday, go, boy, how great was that, our career? No. You go off and do other things. Rolling Stone magazine has shared a few outtakes of its feature article with Motley Crue guitarist Mick Mars, based on an interview that was conducted in early May in Mick's hometown of Nashville, Tennessee. They're all living down there. They all live in Nashville. Among the revelations is Mars' claim that last time the band really talked was the premiere of the Dirt movie in 2019. Nobody spoke to me in 2022 during Crue's The Stadium tour with Def Leppard. What? A lot of the time felt like I was just playing by myself. You know how you could be in a crowd of people and still feel alone? That's how this is sad. That's how I felt the whole tour. I felt used, sad, inferior. When we played the last show in Las Vegas on September 9th, 2022, I felt relieved. A lot of the pressure was gone, but I was very emotionally wounded. They weren't just shallow wounds. They were deep wounds. They were deep ones the kind you can't get over. These are deep cuts these sons of bitches did. I couldn't imagine Vince Neil saying or doing anything that could deep cut me. Nikki Sixx, he's got some spite in him. He could probably say some rude things. Hey, you little freaking skeleton. You just stand over there and shut up for the rest of the show, okay? I can see Nikki being kind of spiteful. Vince, he'd just be going, hey, where's all the cotton candy and the corn dogs? Mick went on to say that he hopes to never talk to his bandmates again. I think all of us would be okay with that, he said. And I don't just mean me with them. I mean them with each other. I don't plan on having a funeral. If I did, I think maybe they'd show up for that just out of courtesy or to sell a couple tickets or something, right? If they pop in and they're all wearing their black wedding gowns and they're like, oh, God, Mick, oh, God. But it's like the last, 10 years you didn't care for each other. But for me, there's no funeral. There's nothing. What are they going to do? They are going to cart the body away, right, Mick? Mick Mars, if you could get in the comments and tell me, are they going to cart the body off? I think the health department mandates that. Someone will have to come and pick the carcass up and, what you want to do if you're not into having funerals is donate your body to science. And then you don't have to worry about none of that. And perhaps that's what he's going to do so they can take a look at him and, see what's up with that. When Mars announced his retirement from touring with Motley Crue last October as a result of worsening health issues, he maintained that he would remain a member of the band, with John Five taking his place on the road. However, he has since filed a lawsuit against Motley Crue in Los Angeles County's Superior Court, claiming that after his announcement, the rest of Crue tried to remove him as a significant stakeholder in the group's corporation and business holdings via shareholders meeting. In his lawsuit, Mars also alleges that he was the only band member to play 100% live on their most recent tour, claiming bassist Nikki Sixx did not play a single note on bass the entire U.S. tour. And I did put up a little YouTube video where there's a guy that jumps up on stage to hand Nikki Sixx a beer, and they're in the middle of Kickstart My Heart, and he literally, there's not a noticeable difference in that song whatsoever. He takes the bass off like he's going to attack the guy with it, and then he stands there and points at him for a solid 10 seconds, 15 seconds. He doesn't even have the bass on, and the rest of the band doesn't even realize it. They're just rocking out, and Vince is over there yodeling and doing what he does. Did not play a single note on the entire tour. Wow. Mars said that when he refused to sign the paper reducing his share of the touring royalties to only 5%, the band commenced an arbitration. His original filing said that the group took it to arbitration rather than public lawsuits so that the public would not be aware of the deplorable manner in which they treated their brother of 41 years. There you have that. See, they're going to get into this, his illness. I've already explained that to you several times. I feel like Dr. Phil by now. This guy, you're looking at him, you say, well, this is a pretty hip and cool looking guy. This is Tony Iommi. And they named an old fossil after him. And what better? He's sitting there, he's got his whiskeys. He's got his whiskeys back there, and he's just I like to collect cars, little kind of toy cars and little fire engines and stuff. But now he's got his own fossil. And we love that kind of stuff, don't we? According to Westside B.I.D., legendary Black Sabbath guitarist Tony Iommi was presented with a life-size sculpture of a prehistoric fossil named after him. Paleontologist and heavy metal fan Mats Eriksson had previously discovered the 469 million year old fossil of an eel-like marine vertebrate in Russia and named the new species Drepanosteus. Iommi. Okay. Drepanosteus Iommi, after his rock hero. Why don't you call it Tony? You don't need to go on with you tell me how to say that. Drepanoistoudus. Jesus, with the big science words. Mats was invited to Birmingham, England, from his home in Sweden to present Tony with a life-size model of the fossil, specially made for the occasion by sculptor Espen Horn. Tony had previously enjoyed FaceTime chats with Mats. Oh my gosh, they're pals now. On the Black Sabbath bench in Birmingham at the end of 2021, Mats and Espen were invited to the Velvet Music Room in Broad Street to present Tony with the sculpture of the fossil. Tony said of the meeting, "It was great to meet Mats and Espen today, receiving an amazing replica of Iommi fossil." Thank you, he says it right. He's like, "I ain't gonna bleed and bloody say all that bullshit with the DREPA. No, it's the Iommi fossil. And thanks to I thought it was gonna say Miley Cyrus, Mike, Ollie, and Steve at Velvet Music Rooms. Iommi previously said, "It was a real shock to hear the fossil's been named after me. I've been a bit of abuse for my friends about it." Oh, he's had a bit. I've had a bit of abuse from my friends about it, who've enjoyed calling me an old fossil, like I did. And I think it's great. A real honor. This has to be the weirdest thing that has ever been named after me. Not at my house, baby. Not at my house, because my nether regions, you don't want to know what they're named. But I'm really proud of it, and I want to thank Mats and his team in person for such brilliant fans, for being such brilliant fans. Mats, who has been a fan of Black Sabbath since he was an itty-bitty, little, teeny, itty-bitty baby boy, said he was thrilled by his team's discovery of the fossil. Oh, now it's a team, but you only get to go? You only get to sit on the bench with Tony Iommi. But the team doesn't get to go, but old Mats does. And it was great to combine his love affairs of nature and music. Mike Ollie, general manager of Westside BID, said, "I'm delighted we were able to set up a meeting between Tony, Mats, and Espen and present Tony with the model of the fossil named after him. Tony is one of Birmingham's greatest rock heroes, and this is a fantastic gesture by Mats and Espen." Let's see it. There it is. Which one's Mats? There's Mats. Oh, he's a Mats. All right. He's an Espen. No, this guy's Mats. He said, "I get to hold the fossil because me and my team are the ones that found it. So when I'm presenting it, he's going to put his big fingers, his big mugs on there with his little rubber tips of his fingers on there. And I'm going to be right next to it because I get to hold it. Espen just gets to do the heavy metal horns." There you go. Queensryche singer Todd La Torre. We're on to the next story, by the way. Queensryche, Todd La Torre does comedy. This guy can do 1,000 things. He can play the drums kick-ass. He's played drums with Stryper, and he did the drums on his solo records, and he did the drums on one of the Queensryche records he's on, which he sings on. Guy does 1,000 things, including smoke 5 packs a day. And now he does stand-up comedy. Says Queensryche's Todd La Torre. And I always wonder if it's how to say that name. But Todd La Torre, we're going with it. Queensryche's Todd La Torre reflects on his stand-up comedy debut. I was terrified. Queensryche singer Todd La Torre spoke to the Brutally Delicious podcast about his first attempt at stand-up comedy, which took place on April 30th. Oh, wow, this is very fresh. Aboard the Monsters of Rock cruise. Regarding how he ended up trying his hand at stand-up, Todd said, "I'm good buddies with professional comedian Don Man Jameson and Jim Florentine, who are also good friends with the Junk in the Trunk. Over the years, Don would say something funny to me and he'd hit me back with another thing and we'd kind of riff in real time with each other. And I think he saw a comedic sense about me. And one day he was like, we have this thing that we do where we have a professional comic do their stand-up and then we'll have like a guest musician that's never done it, yada, yada. Would you want to do it?" Then I was like, "I don't know, man. It really makes me nervous just thinking about it." And he was like, "Dude, I think you'd be really good at it. This is what, this and that and the other." And I said, "Well, I'll come up with things that I think are funny and put them in a draft email. They were doing this thing in the Florida Keys, and so I started kind of crafting some jokes and some stuff, and then I was like, look, I've got so much going on, dude, I can't do the Keys. He was like, well, we do it on the cruise too. And I was like, okay, well, that's a couple of months out. That would give me a little more time to prepare. I feel better with the material. See, now he's calling it material. It went from jokes and stuff in an email to my material. I said, I'm not going to commit to it yet. I still don't know. I'm really nervous about it. He said, dude, I really think you should do it, blah, blah, blah. And then Courtney Cronendold, who is part of the Punchlines and Black Lines comedy event, and she's a professional writer. She's a professional comic writer. She's worked with Roseanne Barr. She's done stuff with Gene Simmons Roast, and she was, I think, working among guys like Bill Burr and all these people that's been her career. She's really funny, and she's super sweetheart of a person. And so we ended up jumping on a Zoom call for about an hour and 45 minutes, and she wrote my act. No. And I said, don't judge me, but I've got a bunch of stuff I wrote, and you can sift through and tell me what you think is good, what's not, and then we can build on that if that's cool. Well, guess what, you guys? This might be a shorter episode, but here's a clip. There he is, Todd La Torre. We're going to hear him tell some jokes. Let's go. Stroke. Have you heard? Strokes of word. Turn off the mic.
How's everyone doing?
All right. Hey.
Some of you might not know me. My name is Todd La Torre.
Torre.
My name is pronounced nothing like it's spelled. It's Latorre. In some parts of the world, they say Todd La Torre.
Todd La Torre.
In Staten Island, they say Todd La Torre. Some of the old Queensryche fans call me not Jeff Tate.
And the Queensryche fans call him not Jeff Tate. See, and he did a little thumbs up there. That was a good joke. And Queensryche fans call me not Jeff Tate. I'd like to check out the rest of that. I wonder if that's posted somewhere. Another quick story, we get into your comments. Well, you know, the Blabbermouth says, watch Kiss perform in London during the End of the Road tour. So I thought, all right, let's do it. Let's check it out. The one thing that I was wondering about, and we're just going to get right off to this, is Paul Stanley was holding something weird when they came out. So here we go. Yeah. Curtain down. Coming down on their little space saucers. Ba-boom. He's going to come over and say, wow! Hello! Paul, why didn't you say hello? Like you do on Kiss Alive 2. Wow! Hello! Jesus, is that those fog machines making that? I feel uptight on a South. Listen to that. Right in his juicy box. You see that? It was shooting that fog right up his juice, right up his skirt. He was loving it. Look at that, blowing right up his goose bag. He can't get enough of it. Oh, that's what I was seeing, is a little snake thing, maybe. Spit all over myself when I make fart noises. Is that a little spooky owl that he's got there? If Gene's going to have a spooky snake with wings, I'm going to have a little owl over here on my side. Here's Kevin. Tommy. And old boy back here says, all right, you bastards. If he's going to have a little snake with wings, and you're going to have a little owl over here, I'm going to have a freaking cat panther demon. That's what I get to have on the stage. Let's get into your comments ever so quickly. Now, if you look right here, it says 11 comments. There are only 4. We're going to get right into them, though, because I guess I want you guys to put your comments in, but I mean, it's a hit and miss if they're there or not. I don't know if they were just all deleted. I don't know. But let's get into it, because the old faithful here, Mike Buchanan coming in. YouTube keeps deleting my comments. Thinking it has something to do with the bad movie section, I've rewritten the paragraph to be like what you see. So maybe that's what it is he keeps trying to put it up there, and he's got to delete it, or it's just deleting them right away. I'm pretty sure if there's any kind of big swear words, if there's anything that sounds advertisement-y, or if there's links, it instantly goes into the crapper. So you're better to put requests or whatever it is, you're better to just write it out like a normal human being instead of copy and pasting or anything. YouTube keeps deleting my comments, so ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Bad movie, It Came from Outer Space, a classic 1953 movie that happens to be the first ever 3D movie. I didn't know that Universal produced and released. It tells the story of an amateur astronomer and his fiancée who are stargazing in the desert when a large fiery object crashes to Earth. At the crash site, he discovers a round alien ship just before it completely was buried by a landslide. When he tells the local sheriff and newspaper editor that what he saw, he is branded as a crackpot. Before long, odd things begin to happen, and the disbelief turns hostile. Just a little off topic real quick. Did anyone else see that? If you got the TikTok or whatever, did anyone else see the lady that was on the plane that was like, I'm getting off this freaking plane because that guy is not real or whatever? I went down a whole rabbit hole last night on this thing of where, hashtag shapeshifters and all this, and people are saying the guy that was on the plane, he was freaking a weirdo and he wasn't human. And then the other people, I think old Carrot Top was on the flight. And he's like, no, she was drunk. She was at the bar before she got on the plane. She was drunk. Then she lost her earbuds. So she was pissed off, and she thought someone stole them, and then she had a freak out and left the plane. But everyone was like, shapeshifters, the aliens, And I'm not calling people crackpots. I'd love for the aliens to come down and visit, if that's a possibility. All right, still back to Mike Buchanan here. Why isn't anyone talking about Brian May looking like one of those English lawyers? Yeah, he had the hair. Well, I said French prostitute, but they had the big wigs. What were they called? Dandy boys? Miss Althea will know. Fancy lads. Something like that. Not sure if Kiss will ever have a final concert, so hang in there, Ace and Peter. Looking forward to the end of the road tour in 2035. I saw Kiss for the first time live on the Lick It Up tour. That would have been great. See old Vinny. So I missed out on seeing the original band. I did see them in, I think, 97 after Ace and Peter rejoined. That's when I saw. I think me and you were right on, because I saw Lick It Up too. And that might have been my first Kiss concert, was Lick It Up. And then I finally saw them on the reunion. I made some video a long time ago where I got the year wrong. I was like, he's lying. He never went. He never saw that show. I did see it, because it wasn't Peter playing the drums. Peter only came out and sang Beth. And I had gotten a big fight with everyone about it. And they were like, and then they announced it. Remember, there was like, well, there's like 5 or 6 shows we had to get someone to fill in because his arms were hurting. Anyway, so I missed out on seeing the original band. I did see them, I think, in 97 with Ace and Peter rejoined the band. Kiss happened to be the band that I've seen most live. Don't mock me. They put on a great show. Okay, Go look for how to pronounce Carmine Appice. Appice's name of YouTube. He pronounces it Appice. All right. If he see, and I always say Vinny Appice, but then I say Carmine Appice. What's that all about? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. I'm cutting him off here. Okay, so go look at how it's pronounced. Carmine Appice's name of YouTube. He pronounces it Appice, while his brother Vinny pronounces it Appice. This came about while Carmine was performing with Rod Stewart. Shrugs shoulders. So we're both right. So I can tell everyone to go to hell. All I'm doing is mixing up the names. I'm in his brother. That's all I got to say now. If I say Appice, if I say Appice, and I say Carmine, I can say I'm in his brother, dummy. That's what I'm going to say. And now, Jive Talkin jokes of the week. What happens when you hit Dwayne Johnson's butt? You hit rock bottom. Oh! I bet it's hard as a rock. Why would a pig dressed in black not get picked on? Why would a pig dressed in black not get picked on? Because Batman has sworn to protect Gotham. Did you write that one, Mike? I was wondering why music, he's probably writing them all, right? You can't just Google this and it's like, Dwayne Rock Johnson's ass. I was wondering why music was coming from my printer. Apparently the paper was jamming. That's pretty good. What did the snail say when it got on the turtle's back? Whee! And finally, all right then, here we go. What do you call a dog with no legs? It doesn't matter, it's not coming anyways. Where do you find a dog with no legs? Same place you left him. What do you call a dog with no back legs and steel balls? Sparky. Okay, I feel better now. I mean, that first one there, it just doesn't sit right in the tummy, you know what I mean? What do you call a dog with no legs? It doesn't matter. It's not going to come anyways. There's your heart, buddy. And you get it. Come on, I'm feeling, it's the season for thumbs. Miss Althea coming in. The Drumstruck Fool says, I equate the man bun to the messy bun for us long-haired ladies. And I say, own it. Bonus points for the mention of Eight is Enough and the character of Nicholas. Rest in peace, actor Adam Rich. He's passed on. Who passed away earlier this year. Oh, rest in peace. And wasn't the dad on another TV show too? Eight is Enough Dad. Wasn't he on? Why do I want to say Love Boat? I don't think it was Love Boat. Miss Althea on Gene Simmons. Him calling OG fans old is honestly disrespectful as well as hypocritical. Like he isn't old too. Hello? And where the F would it be, and where in the F would he be if it weren't for the ones who've been around for 50 years, question mark. At the same time, I am not quite sure what to make of Ace's comments. Everyone knows I'm an Ace girl, but I am half on his side and half on thinking he's lost his marbles. I mean, I'm thinking a little of both. As to questions whether or not he was ever a sex pot, of course, everyone has their own definition and opinion of such things, but let me just say this. There are photos out there of him in a bubble bath, and what always comes up as related content are the infamous bathtub, no bubbles, and more skin photos of the love of my life, Eric Carr. Really? I'll never Google that, but really? There's pictures out there of Eric Carr in the bubble bath with no bubbles. The bubbles have all popped, and his schlong is hanging there in the water, floating in the water maybe. Granted, there may be a degree of bias on my part here, but in my opinion, Ace's photos had no natural sense of sex appeal, although I think he was trying to be sexy. Was it worth the effort? Eric's photos, though? I am done. I need a fan and a drink. Just saying. Wow. Eric Carr, he was a hairy guy, wasn't he? He looked like the dude that had the Tom Selleck hairy chest. I mean, he just looked like that kind of a guy. Michael Anthony. Bipolar has seemingly become a catch-all convenient phrase for anyone who exhibits what may or may not be a mental health episode. Maybe Dave was just a lousy drunk. We don't know. Although, I do think is not particularly of sound mind. In having a bipolar person in my life who went through hell before they were properly diagnosed and treated, I can only say it's a definition that should not be taken lightly. Right. Yeah, because, you go, something's going on, something's happening here, and you got to get diagnosed for that so you can get on the right medications and stuff. I missed out on contribution to bad movies we love anyways. Trog. I'm going to watch this. Trog. The 1970 cult classic starring Joan Crawford. Now I got to watch it. On the one hand, it was sad for her for her career-wise, being that the golden age of Hollywood was long since over, but on the other hand, it is undeniably a ridiculous, enjoyable watch if you like that kind of stuff. And we do on this channel. Yes, we do. Has anyone ever watched Mommy Dearest? I think if you're my age, my hair is very curly today because I have it back in the man bun, you see. And then what I've noticed is that it really curls up right there. You see? It really works. It really pumps up there. So you just put that on, and it's just like, it just pumps right out. But Mommy Dearest, that movie was about Joan Crawford. She wasn't in it. It was Faye Dunaway that was in it as playing the role of Joan Crawford. But she was a woman that did a lot of stuff, but she was also a woman that did not like wire hangers, if you get my drift. You can get in the comments and tell me all about that. You got 2 from Jeff Fields here. He says, you made Ace sound like a mashup of him, the Penguin, and Larry Flint. LOL, had to listen to that twice. Oh, thank you for that. And you getting a thumb. And Jeff Fields again. LOL, dude, Kiss is my favorite band, and your Ace imitation had me rolling. Bing and bing. And if there was another damn thumb I could give you, I would. All right, I don't know. I wish Todd La Torre had more jokes. We could go out on that. Instead, I'll just try and play a lousy song. Let's get something that's got a real good rhythm to it. Maybe a tune. Should we go to the song bank? Let's go to the song. Let's go to the song bank. Jive with me, jive my family, jiving near the town. Oh, does lasers.